Hi, I'm Marty Gubar from the Autonomous Database PM team. It seems like every company today has data distributed across multiple clouds and data sources. And we're going to talk about how Autonomous Database can help gain insights from those data stores with a little help from AI. So let's start with, what is Autonomous Database? So ADB, it's an Oracle database with all of the converged database capabilities. So of course you know that Oracle database is the leading SQL engine in the world. But did you also know that it's a JSON database with a MongoDB API, which gives you lots of flexibility when building apps? And ADB also has the world's most popular low-code development environment, Apex, also built in. And then it has built-in analytics like graph, spatial, machine learning, and of course, Gen AI. So ADB then automates most all of the manual tasks that you need to do for managing your databases. From deployment using the console or APIs, to patching and backups and scaling and high availability. So this saves you time, money, and lets you focus on building solutions and not managing infrastructure. So OCI is an incredible platform for running your autonomous database. But now you have choice. ADB runs where you need it, right? So the entire ADB platform is now available as a native service in Azure, in Google Cloud, and soon AWS. And of course, you can also run it in your own data centers with dedicated Cloud@Customer. Now, you manage Autonomous Database on these cloud platforms as you would your other resources on those clouds, using the same portals, APIs, monitoring, even billing. It goes without saying that the Oracle database is really popular. There's thousands of databases out there running on VMs on the hyperscalers' clouds. Well, you now have the opportunity to run those workloads and your on-premise workloads with better performance and with less effort by migrating them to Autonomous Database. And you can build better apps that take advantage of all the great cloud services like Gemini on Google Cloud, or OpenAI in Azure, and build better, modern, intelligent applications. Autonomous Database not only runs on those clouds, but it also takes advantage of the services and data sources that are available on those clouds. You can integrate data from a wide range of sources, like hundreds of applications or data lakes. You could take advantage of data catalogs like Amazon Glue to help automate all of that integration. Importantly, all of these capabilities, they're built into Autonomous Database. And that makes it easy for you to quickly gain insights from across your data estate. So let's take a look at an example. So we're going to use AI, like an AI-assisted data loading, and we're going to integrate data from a data lake on AWS. And as that data is being loaded, we're going to automatically derive insights. So those insights include detecting PII, or personally identifiable information, deriving sentiment and key phrases from customer feedback. All of this is done using Autonomous Database's built-in Data Studio. Here I have customer feedback data in Iceberg format, which is a standard data lake format. And I'll select that data to integrate. And notice that it's immediately flagged that it may contain personally identifiable information. So I want to inspect that. I'll look at the details for that customer feedback information and notice that the tool has automatically derived all of the different fields in that file. And so I'm going to create a new table, and I'll call it customer feedback. And I'll inspect those fields. And there I can see that email that has the PII information. Now I'm going to add an expression. And my first expression is a sentiment analysis from customer comments. So I can analyze that free-form text in a structured way. And I'll be able to get an idea of how people feel about our services and what we have to offer. Now, to determine what they're talking about, I'm going to do a key phrase extraction from those customer comments. So now that I define those two extra fields, they're going to give me tremendous value from that data. And I'm going to integrate those data sets and run that data load. And that's all there is to it. There's nothing more that I need to do to gain meaning from that unstructured data. Okay, so now I'm going to jump over to a notebook in Autonomous Database to run some SQL queries against that data that I just loaded. See what people are commenting about. All right, so I'll look at the key phrases, and I can see that they're talking about the app, and they're talking about the types of movies like action movies, sci-fi, classic movies. So they're talking about the content as well as information about the application itself. But how if I just zero in on the negative sentiment? Like, what are people struggling with? So to determine this, I'm just going to adjust the query to focus on the negative sentiment. And I can see that it's mostly about the app itself, interactive content, the search algorithm, the visual refresh, browsing experience. So now I can better understand how to act upon this feedback and improve our products. Querying data with SQL, that's old school. Autonomous Databases Select AI lets you query your data using natural language. Whether your language is English, Spanish, Chinese, French, and more, it doesn't matter. The beauty is that you don't need to know how to access that data. You simply ask your question, and Select AI is going to generate the query and return a response. Now, we're going to use a chat app that was built with Apex. And you can download this app from GitHub. And if you do make it better, you got to share those innovations with me. And what's nice is that you can run this app from any browser, either on your desk, on your desktop, or on your phone. You choose. So let's take a look at the app. I've defined multiple subject areas. Some are sourced from relational tables in the database. Others are from knowledge bases. And I can define as many subject areas as I need to be able to reflect our company's functional areas. Here's the support site, and that's one of those knowledge bases. And it's used by our internal teams to answer customer questions. The second knowledge base I have is in Google Cloud Storage. This Google Cloud Storage has my presentation library for Autonomous Database, but I can have many documents here. This is a PowerPoint, but I can have PDFs, Excel documents, and more. Now I'm going to switch back to the app and start asking questions against all these different subject areas. So my first question is, I'm locked out of my account. That sounds like a support question. So the question was analyzed and targeted towards the support site. The answer gives suggestions on the information from those knowledge bases, like accounts are typically locked out due to multiple failed attempts. Here's how you solve the problem. And it provides the source where I can get more information to answer my question. Now, the second question is, can Autonomous Database help me save money by consolidating lots of databases? That's a great question. This question is targeted against the ADB topics subject area. And the answer suggests that, yes, I can use elastic pools to consolidate my databases and reduce my total cost by up to 87%. That's pretty amazing. So my final question is a quantitative question. I want to know more about our movie streaming service called Oracle Movie Stream. So I'll ask Autonomous Database, what are our top 10 movies based on total streams? This response is going to do a natural language SQL translation. It's going to go against my data, and it's going to respond with a list of the top 10 movies that were streamed on MovieStream. So this app was built entirely with Apex, which is a tool for quickly and easily building apps. And it's got great tools to work with the query result. So now I can take this information, I can chart it, I can download it to a spreadsheet, and I can share it with other users. All right, now let's peel back the onion and see how this app was built. The magic is that Autonomous Database has made it easy to take advantage of natural language by updating the SQL language itself. So here you can see, this is done in SQL CL, that as a database developer, the only thing that you're probably going to recognize in this select statement is actually the word select itself. After that, you see an AI keyword and the natural language question. What are our top 10 movies? So by implementing Select AI at the SQL layer, any tool or application that can speak SQL, including simple tools like SQL CL or SQL Plus, and your apps can now be a natural language query tool. So let's see how that's done. To start, I simply type select AI. What are our total streams? And I get my answer that we've had about 2.5 million streams on Oracle Movie Stream. Well, one question leads to another. So let's get more details about all of those streams. So I'll ask Select AI to break out that result by genre and customer segment. Well, that returns 240 rows, which I can see here. So I'm going to want to refine that even more. I want to rank the result by total streams, but only keep the top 10. Now I have this result and I can see the Avengers, Endgame, and Captain Marvel. So these are the movies that our customers are watching. And to get responses, I'm just following my train of thought and asking questions that refine the results more and more. Now, if I want to see the SQL that was used to generate that query result, I'll simply type in Select AI, show SQL. And that will give me the actual code that was run that's joining multiple tables and getting my answer. And the best part of this, I didn't need to know how to generate that query. I just asked my question using natural language. So if SQL CL can do it, Apex can do it, and your application can do this as well. AI models, they're kind of mind-blowingly powerful, but they don't know about your organization's data, like that internal support site or the ADB presentation library. Oracle Database 23 AI solves that problem. It's now a vector store. Now, vector indexes capture the meaning of your data. And the new 23 AI similarity search lets you find the content that's most relevant to the question that's being asked. Right? And I'll step through an example in just a minute. But Select AI, it's going to make the process of creating and managing vector indexes from your knowledge bases really simple. So here we have documents like our support site or that ADB collateral. And the collateral, in our case, it could be PDFs, PowerPoints, Excel, different document types. Now, with a single API call, Select AI will create a pipeline and define vector indexes from those sources in your object store. And as your content changes, as you add new presentations or updates to your website, the pipeline will keep your vector indexes up to date. So what this means is that now someone who's asking a question using Select AI, in this case, they're asking the question, hey, my Roku is stuck on the opening scene of my movie. You can see that's using, again, a select statement. Select AI is we extended SQL. In this case, it's going to kick off an entire retrieval augmented generation process. So the question is encoded. A similarity search is then going to find content that can answer that question. Once it finds the most similar documents, it packages that content and the question, and it sends it to the AI model. The model now has all of that context it needs to produce a response to your question. In this case, it's going to say, hey, it seems like you're experiencing an issue with your video playback, your internet connection is stable, or the video page, et cetera, and then it has a reference to where you can get those answers. I hope you've seen how Autonomous Database can help simplify your multi-cloud analyses. There's tons of information that we have to help you get started, including workshops, demonstrations, sample applications, and more. And you can even use it for free with our always free editions. So head over to the Autonomous Database page on o.com and give it a try. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.